a registered nurse at Cameron Wellness Center, and today we're going to talk about the Bio-Impedance Analysis Machine that we will use before the detox program to get a baseline measure of how healthy your cells are. What the BIA looks at is your total body water, how hydrated you are both within the cell and outside of the cell, your total lean body mass. It also looks at your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you would burn if you were just resting all day. And we can also look at what is called the phase angle, which is a measure of your cellular health. So I'll go a little bit deeper into each of those measurements. It's a pretty quick, easy way to get a big picture of your health. What we do is we have you just lay down on a table for about 10 minutes. We put a couple electrodes on your ankle and on your wrist, and then we run the machine. And it really just takes a few seconds, and then we get a report. With the basal metabolic rate and knowing how many calories your body would need at rest, we can calculate exactly how many calories you will need on the detox program so that it is personalized for you. The other thing that's very important is how hydrated you are. So I mentioned earlier the water outside of your cell, what we call extracellular water, or the water inside of your cell, or intracellular water. A lot of people that we see have a high amount of extracellular water and very low amounts of water inside of the cell. What does that mean for you? That means that there's an imbalance of electrolytes. It could be you have too much sodium, too little potassium, too little magnesium, too little B vitamins. It could also mean that your essential fatty acids, so your omega-3s, your fish oil is off balance, and we can do a lot to improve that. And by improving the hydration status of your body, both intra and extracellularly, we can make sure that your body is prepared to go through a detox process. When we have too much extracellular water, that's when we get swelling. When we have swelling, you kind of notice it as maybe swollen ankles, swollen wrists, or just general puffiness. And there's actually things that we can do to correct that. We also get to see your lean body mass, so how much muscle that you actually have. And that's really important too, because if it's very low, we know that either you're not eating enough protein, or you're not breaking down protein, or also maybe you're not absorbing protein properly. So there's a few different indications from that we can help address before the detox program. Protein and the amino acids that make up each protein are extremely important for the detox process. So phase 2 of detoxification is considered a very important phase. That's where the neutralization of any toxins occurs. And some of the most important players in that process are actually amino acids from protein. So we are able to get a look at how much protein you're actually intaking, and if we need to increase that before we start you on a detox program. It's also looking at what is called the phase angle. So the phase angle is a measure of your cell's integrity. So each cell has this external membrane, and the job of that membrane is to allow good things in, your vitamins and minerals, things that it needs to support its process. And the other thing that it does is it keeps things out that should not be able to come in. And the phase angle actually gives us a measure of how well your cells are able to do that process. So a lower phase angle has been implicated in decreased quality of life, falls, just generally not feeling well, chronic disease, chronic infections. As we are able to measure the phase angle before the process and after detox, we can really see how your cellular health has improved. So it's a really great measure that's really easy to do. There's a couple things to do before you have a BIA. So in the morning, we ask that you don't shower because that water can actually mess with how we see the extracellular versus intracellular water. Most people are able to do a BIA with no problems, but in people that have something like a pacemaker or anything electrical within the body, we unfortunately cannot do a BIA on because it is using an electrical current. But otherwise, we can use it even if you have a prosthetic knee, a hip replacement, anything like that is totally fine. The other reason that the report may come out off is if somebody has breast implants. Those can kind of skew the water that we see, and we don't get as great of a report.